We're halfway through 2025, guys.
Can you believe
I cannot believe it.
We are in the second half of the year. It's third quarter.
I know. It is third quarter right now.
How did that happen?
Oh my goodness. Seriously,
That's
I don't know.
wild.
Halftime break. Get your oranges. Get your oranges and your bananas, guys. Time to go.
Seriously. Yeah.
No cramping up.
This is the halftime. Hey, this is the halftime talk. You know, when you come in at halftime, the coach gets up and gets you going, and then you replan, and then you go back out. See, we have our coach right here, Jason Harris, coming to
Halftime speech.
Let's
go, boys.
Let's go. Time to go.
Let's go take home the trophy.
Let's roll.
Halftime is a great time.
Four quarters.
Jason's gonna be coaching. I guarantee. Watch, Jason's gonna be coaching Jaden one day.
No. I'll be at every game, though.
He's going to be more than just coaching, I have a feeling.
I definitely am going to be working out with him this summer and over the next few years.
You should go run the routes and stuff with him.
Yeah,
and do all
throw
that.
passes. I mean, all that. I'd love to.
That's what I like most about coaching. I coach my kids' soccer team. Getting out on the field, getting some cleats on again, just running.
Yeah,
And like
sweating.
the smell of the grass. Yeah, sweating.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
Feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
For once, like you forget how fun that is.
Yep. Until you accidentally hurt one of the
Then you get
little kids.
injured. Oh yeah. I was gonna say I get injured, and then
Oh, yeah.
don't recover
I mean-
and bounce back like I used to.
You pull a hammy, you're out for a year. From the Harris Financial Center in Provo, Utah, welcome to the HIG Podcast. This is your go-to source for exploring the world of investing. Each week, alongside industry experts from Harris Investment Group, we explore investment strategies and tackle the many different concepts and terms to help you navigate the landscape of investments. From understanding the complexities of tax strategies to exploring the many avenues of real estate investment, our roundtable discussions are designed to equip you with actionable insights. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, our goal is to provide clarity and understanding so you, the investor, can make financial decisions with confidence. I'm MattyP, and I'm here, of course, with the one and the only, the host of the HIG podcast, Bronson Kaufusi. What's up, Bronson?
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
It's good to be here.
You look great. You
Man.
always have a big smile on your face.
I'm walking. We're good. We're up and about.
Nice. We're here with a very special guest, one of our favorite guests on the show. We have Jason Harris back again. What's up, Jason?
Hey, glad to be here. Doing well, thanks, MattyP.
Yeah, it's nice to have you on. I feel like we just recorded one yesterday, but also it's been maybe like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Like, I just don't understand how time just seems to keep going faster and faster and faster. This is halftime of the year. This is the halftime of 2025. A lot has been accomplished up to this point, which we're going to talk with Jason about a little bit about. And there's a lot coming up in the future. The future's bright. The sun is, I don't know, noon high. Noon high, is that a thing? High noon. It's high noon. The sun is setting. Going to start setting. We're going to ride our horses off into that sunset. Hopefully.
I like that. Let's do it.
All right. So, note to self: get horses.
Oh, I love it, man. Cool. This is gonna be awesome. This is a big deal because there's a lot going on in the real estate world, and that's what we all want to know about. So maybe Jason, do you want to cover what's happened so far? The things that you can share with us from January to now, because we are halfway through, and a lot has happened. So we'll go up to right there, January to now at the firm. What's been going on, or what has been accomplished?
So it's been an interesting year because of, I think, everything external, global even. We've had tariffs happening, right?
Tariff turmoil.
Market volatility that's impacted the debt market significantly. We've had a new tax policy being presented and proposed, and I don't know how quickly these go out, but July 3rd, we're sitting here. The House and Senate just approved a version, and so tomorrow the president's supposed to sign in a new law. So I've been following that really closely. That's going to have a big impact, specifically to real estate. The great benefits that are coming back from the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017, and some that are changed, some that are extended, and some that are even made permanent. So lots of things happening. I think overall, if I look at it and say first half of the year, we've seen some healing from the last couple years that have been quite difficult in the real estate market. Sure. A lot of because of inflationary items that have been in the headlines and news for many quarters and, even now a couple of years, where we're trying to get inflation back to the 2% range. We've had interest rates that have been higher to try to slow down inflation. And so higher interest rates normally means higher cap rates. Higher cap rates mean lower values. And we've had supply and demand that's also had an impact to the overall market and pricing. And so there's just been a lot. It's been difficult to navigate. And, we're trying to do our best in projects that we purchased in 2021 to the 2023 timeframes to make sure we're in a good place with our debt structures, with our personnel, and with what we're able to achieve in occupancy and finding highest and best use of property. And so that's been a part of it, working on our existing portfolio. And then if you look at the new opportunities, I'm actually really excited about what's happening, with new opportunities, because when there's stress or distress in the market, it's typically an opportunity for a buyer. Mm-hmm. So it shifts from a seller's market to a buyer's market. And so what we see now in the market is there's going to be better and better deals, I believe, in the multifamily sector. Mm-hmm. We haven't pulled the trigger on any the last 2 to 2.5 years, except one.
Yep.
And it was a complete lost to the former sponsor group, and we pretty much were negotiating with the bank on terms that gave us more favorable, interest rate and fees, and discounted that. And so that's the only reason we were able to even justify the purchase.
That's the only one. Of hundreds that we
I've underwritten, I've looked at many that just we don't even make offers on because you just don't pencil and we can't make any sense of. And so that is going to change. We will be seeing multifamily deals that we will be wanting to pull the trigger as soon as this year. I think next year, though, that we'll see a lot more that we're going back into the multifamily sector. Mm-hmm. However, fortunately, truck stops and gas stations have been fantastic. Oof. And I mean that,
love hearing that.
Genuinely because I'm talking about high teens IRRs with little to no cap rate compression.
Wow.
And what that means is the majority of the return to get to a high teens IRR is from cash flow. The actual liquid lease payments from the operator that can be distributable back to our investor partners, along with the principal reduction of the mortgage. You take those two profit centers of the real estate market, and we're in the mid-teens IRR. And so when you don't have to bank on appreciation taking place or interest rates coming down to allow cap rates to compress so that we can get higher values and still make a mid-teens to high teens IRR, that's a very attractive asset to pursue if you've mitigated, a lot of the downside and the risk factors, which we do during our due diligence to make sure that we're buying with a good, solid operator, checking out the equipment and tanks for, any potential oil spills or problems that could be costly. And so with that being said, I'm really excited about the asset class that we're investing in right now, although we are wanting to get back into multifamily and doing more deals there. With the new tax bill, though, 100% bonus depreciation coming back and here to stay.
Permanent. There's no end date, no sunset. So we're riding into the sunset, maybe in some ways, but in other ways, we're just going to keep riding.
We're riding into the eternal sunset.
That's right. And that's just so good for our industry. It's so good for investor partners who like real estate as an asset class. There's a reason why the House and Senate both felt like there was a need in America for affordable housing, which is, again, why multifamily is somewhere we want to be and will be more and more as, deals make sense that we can hit a 20% plus IRR. 25 or more is really what we're going after, because if we can buy truck stops and hit, high teens to even 20% without cap rate compression, we're going to be interested in those types of deals with good, strong operators. And so anyhow, that's, I guess, somewhat of
Yeah.
the first half, and then what we're looking at into the second half. We've had, one of our best years in way of raising capital, and I think there's some pretty exciting things that we're working on, Bronson. We were just talking about being approved by Charles Schwab. We're just at the last ends on that, and
it's a big deal.
Fidelity, TD Ameritrade coming next, and so it allows a lot of our wealth management groups that we've worked with to now allocate where their investment into Harris Investment Group deals will show up on the client statement.
Yes.
And that makes it a lot easier for financial advisors to allocate a portion of their client's book of business to the real estate sleeve for diversification reasons. And so we're excited. I mean, this is all happening now in real time, 2025, and the team's excited. I just think that this is going to open up new doors and opportunities.
Yeah. So maybe I could summarize what you just said, because you said a lot and it's so good. So first half, we were able to, really build on the current portfolio. And then as we were moving towards the mid-year, we've been tracking the big, beautiful bill that's coming and tracking the main point for real estate, which is 100% bonus being permanent. That affects both multifamily and gas station truck stops. And so now we're going into it, we're looking, to get even better deals. But through the first half of the year, the gas station and truck stops have been strong. And that's really where a lot of the energy and focus has been, especially on the new deal side, which I think is very exciting because to hit, mid-teens, upper teens on that with the strong tax benefits, it's just so good.
Yeah, and I didn't even bring that up. I mean, the tax benefit is in addition to that high teens IRR with no cap rate compression. If we saw cap rates come down, we're talking about 20 to 30% type IRR returns and nice and great tax shelter benefits. And so it's a very attractive asset class. Operators are very bullish right now. We have some operators who are doing contractual buybacks with us.
Can we explain that?
Yeah.
Contractual buyback is unique. So
it is unique, and we're getting some of these deals because some of our investor partners want to mitigate any risk.
Yeah.
And when you have a contractual buyback, it means the operator who is our leasee or the tenant of the gas station or truck stop that that they operate, that pays us the lease and takes care of all the property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and repairs. That's on them.
They're the ones that are there flipping it and making it nicer, better.
Correct. Yeah, it's a triple net lease, absolute triple net lease arrangement. And so with that, they're saying, you have to sell it back to us in 3 years. And we negotiate those terms, but we're able to lock in a fixed return for our investor partners. And some of these, we have a couple actually right now that we've put under contract that you may not even know about. Just did a new Ramaco deal that we just locked up, an $18 million transaction. And it has a 16 to 17% IRR that's fixed. So when you have like a total return of 55% in 3 years with a massive tax break and essentially no risk, because the operator is required contractually to purchase the property back at a higher price that locks in the return for our investor. There is a lot of capital out there interested in that type of risk reward type investment. And it also shows how much the operators want to own the sites, but may not be in a position right now with capital to do it. It's because there's a lot of optimism in the space specifically. And so not a lot of groups are willing to even sell them back. They want to hold them for the long term and keep the upside, because we do believe that there's some good upside in this. I think we're going to hit higher than that mid-teens IRR that we're guiding to. If we see interest rates come down and some cap rate compression, possibly because of the tax benefits too, more cash will likely come into the space. We'll see some compression, and because there's more demand. And so with that being said, we're going to see higher returns. So we still want those types of deals. We just have some RIAs, family offices that like the limited risk. And if you can deliver a mid-teens IRR with little to no risk,
it's incredible.
Some meaningful cash flow along the way and some good tax benefits, it's a great asset class. I mean, it's just, it's
unique.
We really love, what we're working on and the operators that we work with. So we've got some good deals in the pipeline.
That's really big too. The, what you mentioned there about, family office, wealth advisors, why they love that is because, like you said, the risk comes down, when the operator has, a fixed buyback attached to it from the beginning. Like that, for everyone that's listening to this, it's, in this world of investing, when you can de-risk something like that, the appetite goes up for long-term investors because they're very disciplined. Family offices, wealth advisors, very disciplined. And currently, we've seen over the last few years how important income has been. And this is such a strong income play just from that alone. But then you add in the tax benefit, and then you add in the new bill, going through with 100%. I mean, I feel like that's the best of both worlds. We're making the cake and we're eating it, which is awesome.
It's really hard to find another asset that can have as reliable of a return that's that strong and tax efficient.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it really great for people who have larger sums of money that they'd want to allocate to something like that there's a protection play dynamic along with such a good return and income along the way. It is a very unique and great, space. So
I got a really good question for you. Okay.
I hope I have as good of an answer.
Oh, I know you do. Okay. Can we just do a mock example real fast?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I want to do a liquidity event example. So let's say I'm having a liquidity event this year. Maybe I just had it.
Your crypto's going to the moon.
It's going. Everyone watch. Everyone watch. Like what do I do if I have? Let's just say I'm having a $10 million liquidity event. I'm walking home with $10 million, and I want to use this strategy. Like, how do I use that? Especially with bonus being where it's at.
Thank you. Great. I want to give two examples, if I may.
Yes, please.
Of how I would approach that. Because the big, beautiful bill that you mentioned, the new tax bill that's being enacted, it's going to change some of the rules and the ways that we're going to approach this at Harris Investment Group, but even the real estate landscape of how it's going to be approached. So if we have a client that comes in with a $10 million capital gain event, first off, we'll have a tax professional assess what type of income classification it fits in.
Yep.
Because there are times where our investment, this truck stop example, could shelter the full capital gain and prevent it from being taxable. Now, that's the best potential outcome, is when there's no taxes because of the depreciation loss that the truck stop can provide. That requires rep status. So that's real estate professional status. That means you're active in your real estate and your holdings. We use the grouping election. So maybe you own a fourplex, but you invest with us, which is more passive in nature, and you group those investments together. That grouping election allows you to take the hours you spend in real estate to be considered active versus passive, so that the loss that's generated, the depreciation loss benefit, is considered active versus a passive loss. And yes, it is phantom. It's not real.
Yes.
No one's actually lost any money here, but the IRS knows real estate goes down in value if you don't take care of it. The actual building and infrastructure does. Really, real estate goes up in value normally with appreciation, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to take care of the building in order for it to keep its useful intent. And so because of that, there's a depreciation loss benefit. And with the new tax law, cost segregation studies allows us to take all of that tax benefit now in the year that you place it in service, which then means that we can generate a very big tax shelter event or loss for someone that's had a capital gains event like this $10 million example. And so normally what we would see is a $4 million investment could generate a $10 million write-off, and that $10 million write-off could shelter your full $10 million if you're a rep status. Now, any questions there?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
That is something we're working on right now. We have some investor partners.
It's common. This is a common.
Yeah, we have doctors, dentists selling their practices, or business owners, or someone that's held an asset and it's done very well. So many of those examples, and we usually have a more customized approach on how we handle that. But usually our asset can be a very nice tax shelter vehicle for them, as well as the economics, right? They're looking for income now. They're selling their business perhaps. They're no longer going to have income from it, so they need to replace that income with something else. Our stronger income asset that this is, along with the tax benefit, could be a great replacement for them.
Because if I invest that $4 million, get the tax benefit, that $4 million is going to still kick off. It could kick off up to around $400,000 a year. So that's strong on the income piece. And then I get the tax benefit. And it's like, I don't know how you beat that, but
well,
I don't think there is any other asset class out there.
If you have a $10 million capital gain, you're probably looking at somewhere between $2.5 to $3 million or more. Between the federal and state tax liability. AMT tax could make it even higher. So sometimes it's anywhere between 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
So if you have a $10 million liquidity event and you have to pay $3 to $4 million in taxes, but if you put that $3 to $4 million in a truck stop that generated a $10 million write-off and you no longer have to pay that in taxes, you've almost just taken the money you would have given to the IRS in the form of tax and put that as your equity down payment in the truck stop. And now you have $320,000 to $400,000 a year of income, 8 to 10%.
That's the cash flow
is
right
what
there.
We see year one, and no taxes. And so that's incredible. When we have people see that, they're just blown away and they don't believe us. And so then we go to a second tax professional, then we go to a third, and they continue to hear, yes, you can do that. As long as you meet the active rep status rules, right? Or if your income's classified in a way that's passive. There's some times where you don't have to be active rep status to even get the $10 million benefit to shelter the $10 million gain because of the way the gain is classified. And that's why we want to understand how is the $10 million coming into for you in the way of income. And once we can understand the income classification, it's then helpful where we can know, will this benefit offset it, or would you need to be active in order to do that?
Yes. Oh, that's great. Did you have another example, or is that good?
This is a forecast. Okay. So I've been working on this for many years now, and because the QOZ is essentially expiring
Quality Opportunity Zone
in 2026. The Qualified Opportunity Zones, QOZ funds. There wasn't really much benefit of delaying the gains, and so we didn't ever really pull the trigger. But truck stops are a great asset class that's typically in OZ approved areas. So to invest in an OZ, you have to be in an approved location, which typically our truck stops are. You have to meet a certain improvement metric, which a lot of times we can. But then the time horizon wasn't justified. So in the new tax bill, they have extended, they call it the QOZ 2.0 fund, 2.0 version, and it begins January 1 of 2027. And so why I say two examples, it's not in effect yet. But Harris Investment Group, between now and then, we will be working on a number of things that we will be prepared to do a QOZ fund. And what this is so incredible, Bronson, because if you were to have that $10 million gain take place in Jan 1 or later of 2027, you could take the capital gains of $10 million, put it in a QOZ, which now negates paying any taxes on the $10 million till 2034. So you have 8 years. Well, let's see, I guess it'd be 7 years from 2027 to not pay any taxes on it. And so you don't have to be active, right, in that case, because you don't have any tax liability now.
It's working a long time for you.
And then what happens is if you hold the investment 5, 7, or 10 years, there's different tax advantages. But 10 years or more, if you hold it till 2037, let's say, you get all the income, you can take all the benefits of it. But if you hold the investment or reinvest within the QOZ fund and continue to not take your profits, then you don't have to pay any taxes on all of the gains and growth of your investment. So if and let's just hypothetically said you put $10 million to work.
In the QOZ.
In 10 years, it was worth $25 million, hypothetically, in the QOZ. All $15 million of growth is tax-free.
Holy.
You do not have to pay any taxes on the growth of your basis.
So you're saying you could hold the gas station in the QOZ
For 10 years or more.
And it's cash flowing the whole time, having the depreciation, and you win on the back end.
Yes, and I didn't touch on that part, but I was going to go there next. You still get in 2027 the massive depreciation loss benefit. But
Wow.
you don't
That's like Inception right there.
You don't have to pay the taxes on it, and so you could use it against other income sources, or if you don't use it, you don't lose it. It's an NOL carry forward, and so you can carry forward the loss indefinitely. And so when 2034 comes up, and now you owe your taxes on the capital gain, you have this big loss that can help offset a meaningful amount, if not all, of the capital gains. You have plenty of time to prepare. But if you hold that gas station for 10 years or more, or repurpose it again in the QOZ fund, all of the gains and growth in this hypothetical, say it's 15 million, which is what got you to 25.
Yep.
It's tax-free. And you can continue, if it stays in the QOZ fund, to grow tax-free indefinitely.
Wow.
Imagine if you just kept the money going and going and going, and it reached 50 million or more. All of the growth is tax-free. And even it's still better. The depreciation recapture is eliminated after a 10-year period, meaning
which is hard to do.
A huge truck stop gas station write-off in the first year that you get in way of a benefit to shelter your taxes along the way, or all the cash flow that it's spitting off. You never have to recapture the depreciation on the back end after you hold it for 10 years.
Like you normally do.
Like you normally would have to
Jeez.
if you sold outside of a 1031 exchange.
Yes, outside of a 1031.
And so what we're talking about is there is now a way to invest like you were investing in a Roth account via real estate.
A Roth real estate
You have your
account
QOZ fund that grows tax-free. And you have your Roth accounts that grow tax-free, that are diversified because you have your traditional asset classes, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and you have your real estate investments in your QOZ, and all of them can be growing tax-free indefinitely. It is so incredible. I am so excited. I'm
sounds like
already
a book right there.
I'm already reworking a lot of my real estate, my personal real estate investments on how I'm going to utilize it. And we will absolutely be having an offering of some kind to our investor partners so that they can benefit from those same benefits starting in 2027. And so that's why I say 2 scenarios, because right now we'll have to use the current law and what's available. But in 2027, Jan 1, we'll have a new opportunity through the QOZ that can help eliminate the capital gain, or at least postpone it to give you more time to prepare to pay the tax, shelter the tax, but then have all the growth of the underlying investment grow tax-free.
Wow. Well,
that's incredible.
If that's not cool, and I don't really know how that doesn't get someone excited when it comes to real estate investing.
Bring the cake in,
These tax benefits are very, very amazing, and obviously it benefits anyone who likes real estate as an asset class. We are excited about the 2 asset classes that we invest in. We think there's going to be better opportunities ahead, and we love the tax benefits as well that are going to be generated for investors.
Well, once you pencil down your plan, can you just let me have a copy of it so I can use it to stage my...
It's the playbook. We're at halftime.
The playbook.
You know,
he's drawn on the board right now, everyone take notes. We're about to go play.
This is why I love having you on the show, because there's so much that is going on in the world and all of this, but behind the scenes at Harris Investment Group, and having you here and talk about it is just so exciting. It's just so cool.
You know, I have some unique strategies and ideas, and this is something that's fascinating to me, and so I love studying everything I can. But the world of AI has changed so much where it's accessible to everyone. It's not like something I know ChatGPT and AI doesn't.
That's a good point.
The benefit, though, is I know the questions to ask. I know how to challenge it, and I know how to keep reworking it. And so I have worked on these models and have continued to create what I would say is somewhat of a playbook based on my personal situation, but also similarly to a lot of our investor partners we work with. situation,
Right.
so that I can best help guide them on what I would do personally, but what I think would be the best value we can offer at Harris Investment Group to our investors. And so you will take this playbook that I've come up with through challenging all the sources I can find through AI, and then I'll take them to my tax professional, which then a lot of times, I don't mean to, they're blown away. Not many people think the way I'm trying to think about it. I'm taking a very proactive approach, and most people don't. But I have a very proactive approach with my tax planning. And so I take them all my questions, have them research and review it, and then we sit down and we strategize how then we're going to maximize the value within this new tax bill. For my personal situation, but also very similar situations like you're just sharing, Bronson. And so I'm really excited to introduce some of these new ideas that we'll then be trying to incorporate at Harris Investment Group via our investment asset classes and strategies, so that we can be as tax efficient as possible.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when you were explaining that, I was like, man, this is like a certain coach back in like the 80s, 70s that transformed football forever because he brought out his playbook and it was all passing. And that was Lavelle Edwards. And now we got Jason Harris over here talking real estate and his playbook and how that changes the game, but it also has all of your, kind of all the principles that guide you and like your touch points. I can see it all over that. Like I can see, like as you were talking, and ever since I've known you, it's like, oh yeah, this play you're talking about, I can see that it has Jason Harris everywhere in it. And then I love how you use AI to challenge it, and really create something that's so unique. And it's yours, which is cool.
It's the best way, I think, to educate yourself is being able to go in a particular channel and ask all the questions you can think of. And so, and then it keeps in aggregate all the questions I've asked before. And so it knows where I'm going and what I'm trying to achieve in my analysis and thinking. And so I recommend it and invite everyone to do it, right? I think what's helped me is I've come from wealth management. I've worked with a lot of family offices. I've worked with a lot of successful and wealthy individuals. I've seen the do's and don'ts and the pros and cons, and have seen a lot of, great things and horrible things that people did wrong. And I'm trying to incorporate all of that into what's the best approach that's both risk reward based on one's goals, what's most tax efficient, how we can create wealth, with the best strategies possible. And so with that, I think it's going to be useful and helpful for my own personal situation, but of course our investor partners, as we try to roll out something that's going to take advantage of the benefits that are available in the new tax bill.
Well, can't wait. And
Let's fire.
Man, this is so good. I mean, we don't want to hold you any longer, but this was amazing. I think people are really going to enjoy listening to this. And I
hope so. Yeah.
No, yeah. People, I'm sure we'll get some questions. So make sure if you have questions about any of the stuff that we talked about, we'll have Jason back on again. Reach out to us, contact@harrisinvestmentgroup.com. We'll get those questions to Jason next time he's on the show here, and we'll make sure you get taken care of. But that was awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, it sounds like it's time to buckle up and get ready for the most epic sunset that's not going to set for a while.
Let's go win. I like it.
Let's go win.
Ready break.
Yeah, thanks for being on, Jason.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
And hope you find your dad.
He's coming.
He's coming.
He's coming out there somewhere. We got to keep that alive.
The HIG podcast expresses the views of its participants and may not represent the views of Harris Investment Group. The views discussed are subject to change without notice. The HIG podcast has no duty or obligation to update the information contained herein. It should not be assumed that past investment performance discussed is an indication of future results. Wherever there is the potential for profit, there is also the potential of loss. This is the very nature of investing. The HIG podcast and its affiliates do not provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. The information shared on this podcast should not be construed as an offering, advisory service, or investment advice. Consult your own tax, legal, and accounting advisors before engaging in any transaction. This podcast, including the information contained herein, is the sole property of Harris Investment Group and may not be copied, reproduced, republished, or posted in whole or in part without the prior written consent of Harris Investment Group.